wish, a spice and a wish. This is the Bed Pantry Show.
You're watching the Bear Pantry Show.
You guys must be so confused with what I just played because I didn't do any narration. So we have a story to tell, guys. So it started yesterday. Joe jumped up and said, I went to the store to go buy masa. And I'm like, you need to wait because it's raining and the puppy just fell asleep. And if you go out the door, she gonna wake up. She was sick the day before because she ate some bud peppers that Joe planted in a bucket. This dog crazy. She down here messing with Joe right now. Anyways, I'm telling you all of that to tell you that Joe was delayed half hour before he went to the store. And when he went to the store, he spent a whole hour at the store, right?
About 45 minutes.
It was long. Anyways, that's an hour and a half. So when he came home, he walked through the front door and Ghana opened the sliding door and walked right into the backyard. I'm like, what's going on? And he says, there's two guys over there at the fire burn yard. So remember, the house next door burned on August the 5th, right? So it's been empty the whole time because the house is done. It's finished. So anyways, Joe peeked over the fence like that guy, remember from that one show? Wilson? Joe peeked over the fence and Joe saw that the guys took down the plywood that covered the space that was once the sliding glass door. So Joe said, that's kind of odd, right? Because if
and then it's on a rainy day. You come and work in a house on a rainy day. What kind of stuff is that?
Okay, so tell what you saw when you walked up, because I don't know what you saw.
When I
pulled up,
When I pulled up in the driveway, there was two guys just walking in the yard.
So they had already passed our driveway? Okay.
They already passed our driveway. And then they walk in the yard, but they went straight in the back. So I said, this look funny because, it's raining. Why would somebody just come to work in a house when it's pouring rain and you just can walk in the back?
So at first he thought they were going to the next house,
right,
where the Mexican people live, right? And now the daughter of the next house, the Mexican family, she parked her car in front of the Fireburn house, but she parked where two cars couldn't fit. She could have pulled up more and then another car could have fit, right? So she took up kind of the whole space because if the other car parked behind her, the tail would be hanging over into the driveway of the Fireburn house. You know what I mean when I say bun, right? Fire burn. You guys been with me long enough. You guys knows that sometimes I put my Creole in between. Welcome to my new viewers. Yes, Joe and I are both from Belize. So anyways, Joe came and he says, I find that very odd and I think we should do something. So I called my neighbor across the street, the one that helped out when there was the fire. And I said, Tiff, so and so and so and so, what do you think I should do? And she says, call the popo. And I said, I don't like calling the police. I don't know if you guys are like I am, but I don't like calling the police. And I said, but what if they're the construction workers coming in? Because last week Joe met the owners. Remember the people that lived there for years were renters.
They were renting.
Yeah, so Joe met the owners and Joe says they're, how old do you think they are? 40s, 50s?
About 50s.
In their 50s, and they're what, Vietnamese you said? Vietnamese couple, right?
Yeah.
A couple. And then he also saw the contractor that they're hiring to rebuild the house. So Tiffany says, call the police, Barbara. Don't play around because what are they doing in this empty house? So I called a regular number, not 911. And right away dispatch answered and I said, hey, I don't know if this is something that you guys want to come check out, but my neighbor's house burnt in August and nobody should be in there. And two young men, walked in there, took off the plywood and they're inside the house. And she's like, yeah, hold on a second. So she went for like maybe 5 seconds, came back and she says, give me the address. So I gave her the address to that house. And then she didn't ask for my address and she didn't ask for my phone number, but I know they could, even if you block your phone number and you call in the police, they could find you, okay? So, and I wasn't trying to be anonymous. She didn't ask my name and I wasn't trying to be anonymous, right? She just took the info.
I think they could trace you when you're on your phone.
Even if it's on this thing. Once you're logged into your Google account, people can find you anywhere.
Yep.
Log out of that if you don't want to be found. Anyways, I thought it took longer because I told Tiff, I said, let's see how long they take to come because I didn't call 911, right? But when we roll back our surveillance tapes, that's when I saw time frame. And it took about 5 minutes for the cop to get here. Well, he called first and he said, this is Officer, I think he said Ramirez. And he said, what's your address? and I gave him my address. And he says, the house that you're calling about, is it on the right or the left of you? Now, I don't like to answer questions in that regard, like right or left, because who's right or who's left? When I'm sitting in my house, the house is to the left of me. But if he's looking from the outside into my house, it's to the right of me. So I knew that it was west. How do I know this? Because I'm dumb when it comes to geography and directions and stuff. But
Guess
I
what
know.
she told the police? It's on the west side. Oh, wow, Mia.
How did I know this, babe?
Because I keep telling you all the time.
And he goes, the west is towards LA, the east is towards San Bernardino, the north is to the mountains. So I knew. I was patting myself on the shoulder. So right when I said that, Joe saw him, pull up in front of the window. And Joe's like, he's coming to our door. I'm like, why me? Why don't come to my door? So I went to the door. Joe had to go grab Evie and throw her in Jada's room. And I went to the door, and he was a young officer man. I don't think that
You were 23?
yeah, I don't think he was more than
Young kid.
25. Yeah, young kid, nice looking, but he was slim bodied. And I'm like, these two guys are going to overpower
He
him,
got
right?
maybe like 135 pounds.
You think so? No, give him about 150. With, men bones are heavier. He was tiny. And so he had a, man, I don't realize how big that gun look. He had a big gun on him. And so he says, do you know anything about your neighbors? I'm like, no, my husband just met, the people who are renters. My husband just met the owners last week. And he goes, they didn't leave you with a phone number? I'm like, man, that's pretty smart. I don't know if I had gone to meet them also, that I would have asked them for a phone number. I don't think I would. But if we see them again, we're going to ask them for their phone number. So I told him no. I said, we didn't even know what them people name. Oh, my camera's going to fall off of here. And so he's right here in my door. And I said, officer, please don't go in there alone, because he didn't come with a partner. I said, please don't go in there alone. I said, it's only one of you and it's two of them, please. Because the dispatch had asked if we thought they had guns. No, not guns, weapons. She said weapons. Do you think they have weapons? Joe says no. Joe had to give a description. He didn't see faces. He saw the back of them. He saw that they could be Latino or at least dark complected, right? Mm-hmm. They definitely didn't seem to be white. And he said they had on hoodies. And then she asked the color of the hoodie. And then he couldn't remember their pants, what pants they were wearing, but he remembered the hoodie. And that they just kind of put the thing on, pushed their hands in their pocket and just walked. And so he said, I ain't going over there. I'm wait right here. So then I said, I have tapes. I'm gonna wake my son up and have him roll back the tape, because all the bass is in Joshua's room, right? I had already warned Joshua that he might have to get up because he goes to sleep super late because he works at night. So anyways, he said, yeah, go roll back the tape so we can see. So by the time Joshua rolled back the tape, because we couldn't find a definitive hour, because I didn't pay attention to when Joe came, and I just know that I called the police like about 11:49. So it had to have been a few minutes before. So it was 11:29 when all this went down, okay? So we still didn't know how the young men arrived, because I think while Joe was gone, or right before he left, I saw two young men walk across the street with big umbrellas. But I didn't pay attention to their attire or anything. It was raining, you should have an umbrella if it's raining. So I said, maybe it's them came back or something. We didn't know how they came, because even dispatch asked, did they come in a car? Did they come in a van? And I said, no, I don't know. So by the time Joshua rolled back the tape, I saw that they pulled up in this white car and parked right in front of my house. So let's roll back the tape for a little bit to show you that they're coming from the west.
Who was coming from the west?
Them.
When?
The car, the white car that they came from the west.
No, if they come down this way, they're going east.
I didn't say they were going east. I said they came from. Look, don't start to argue with me. They came from the west.
No.
They came from the west.
Yeah,
I didn't say where they were going. Why I invite him for my show, I don't know.
From the west going east.
Okay, Joe. So they couldn't park behind the girl. So they parked in front of my place that was wide open. I tell you, when Jory buy his newer truck, he's going to give us his old truck and we're going to put it right down the street. Nobody going to park there. So they pull up right in front of my house. They got out the car. You can see that one of the guys is in full black, right? And then he did something by this, the rear right tire. I thought he set something down there, but upon closer examination, I think something dropped. Right, and he picked it up or whatever, I don't know what dropped. And then the driver came out from his side, and then they both put on the thing. She's on the porch. And then they walked, they hightailed it. They walked with a purpose. They walked with a purpose.
Oh yeah, you could say something was wrong.
Oh yeah, they totally did.
When I
Jada, do you think they had a list of homes that are like abandoned? And they just say, okay, we're going to go to this address, because they didn't seem like they were driving to scope out the neighborhood. They walked like they knew that address.
they just come in.
Wait, huh?
They've probably been here a couple times.
Okay.
I wouldn't doubt they're from the freaking apartments.
Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry to stop you, but Jada was talking.
No. I said they come like they know where they're going.
Yeah. Like they knew this place. Like somebody gave them this address. So Jada said maybe they scoped it before, right? And they walked right in there, took that board off of the back, and they went inside the house for what? You know, the house don't look too bad from the front. You wouldn't know how damaged it is on the inside. This is how the house looks. It's trashed on it. It's done. It's done. It's going to cost the people $200,000 to rebuild. That's all the insurance is probably going to pay out, huh? So anyways, I should stop saying anyways. Let me stop that. I don't like to have these crutch words. Yeah, so they went. Don't worry, Joe, I'm not going to start over. Sometimes I will start over for stuff like that. Yeah, so they were in there, and by the time I rolled back the tape and saw that they came, I recorded on my phone that little snippet to show that they pulled up in the car and two of them got out the car. I got to the front door and I said, Joe, where the officer at? He goes, his partner showed up, you know, somebody else, another cop showed up, and they went over there together. So by the time he told me that, Tiff texted and said, they got him. And I said, him? There's two of them. Which one did they get? And she goes, black pants. And I said, oh no, the other one must have jumped the fence, because they don't have a gate in their backyard. We have a gate, but I think we're the only ones that put a gate.
I don't think he could jump that fence.
Not in jeans. Not in jeans.
6 foot?
Yeah, it's the fence is tall, right? And they had just fixed their fence before the fire, and so the fence is up and sturdy and strong. It's not broke down like the fence used to be. So I said, okay, where the hell is he? He's probably gonna wait for the cops to leave and then jump in the car and drive out, because he was the driver. And so Tiff says, you better go tell the cops that there's another one in there. And I go, oh God, why me? Why me? And so Jada had just showered, because I told her, God, we are so crazy. I told her, I said, look, go get showered and get dressed, because the last time when there was a fire, you look like trash. You couldn't even snag you a handsome fireman. Jada says, okay, good looking out, Mom. My kids play around along with our foolishness too, you know. So she went and got showered, and then she was sitting there, and I said, you go tell the cop, you're pretty, the cop's not gonna shoot you. I was so afraid to go to that cop, because they're in the height of something going on, and if I approach and knock on the glass, I'm liable to get shot.
I don't want to go tell the cops because I'm ugly.
I said, only pretty people should approach the cops. They don't shoot pretty people. So anyways, oh, see, I went with anyways again. Scratch that. So Jada says, I'll go. And I said, you know what? I'm the mom. I should go. And then why Joe not going? Why you not going? Why you not going to tell the cop nothing? He's not palm colored. So I went out there in the rain, didn't even get a raincoat or an umbrella, and with my little Temu slippers, I swear the slippers gonna start lifting, because I had to walk in water to go to the cop window. I didn't even realize that Joe was behind me when I went out there.
I let the cops see her first.
But baby, you came behind me. Baby,
I'm only kidding, folks.
No,
okay?
he had my back. I'm like, he let me come out here by myself. So I just kind of waved at him from a distance so the cop could see that I'm, you know, not going to hurt him. And he put his window down, and I heard dispatch tell him, yes, we have a warrant for him out of Indiana. I said, oh, Ave Maria, what happened?
What are you doing in Indiana?
Maybe he lived there before. Who knows?
Could be, yeah.
You know where Kamota, Indiana, right? Anyways, you guys drop below if you know where Kamota, Indiana. Sorry, Richard. My friend Richard is from Indiana. No, we just heard before that that's where all the drugs come from. We don't know if it's true. So the cop, I told the cop, I said, officer, there's two of them. I said, they pulled up in this car. And he said, this car right here? So no, I didn't know where the other, the young cop that came to my door, because the other cop seemed a little bit older, like maybe in his late 30s.
35.
So I didn't know where the young cop was till Tiffany was texting saying, he pulled up in the driveway. So he didn't leave with the suspect in the back of his car. He just was there and parked in the driveway as a lame duck. What if the other guy had a weapon and came out blazing, right? And he goes, this car right here? And I'm like, yes. And I showed him the video. I had it queued. And so he drove over there so fast. And the both of them swung their driver door open and they hightailed it in there. They were in there 6 minutes. The tape shows all this stuff. That's how I know the time. And then Tiff texted and said, they got him. I'm like, oh my God, thank you, God. I said, are they arresting him? And she said, yes. So even if he didn't have a warrant, he is now caught red-handed B&E, breaking and entering. I think that's a felony. I think breaking and entering is a felony. I think, I think there's like an extra premeditation when you're breaking in than when you're just robbing somebody random on the street, right? So anyways, slap me every time I say anyways. They put him in the back of the same car with the other dude.
But don't that go on your record? Stay on your record?
Oh yeah. And I'm like, why are they putting both of them together in the back seat to get the story straight? But it's because the older cop that I showed the video to, he had a canine in the back of his car, so they couldn't put them in the back. So at some point, my God, the hardest thing was to keep this man under control, because he over there opening the security door, peeking out like granny not teaching how to peep. And Jada says, oh my God, Daddy, come inside. These people are gonna say, they already see me. Go tell the cop stuff, right?
When they see me when I walk, when I
oh Jesus. Every minute they open the door, I'm like, close the door. So Jada heard the older cop ask them where the key at for the car, because there's something worth looking at in the car. So I don't know where the key was. If it was on them, they could have taken it off of them, right? Isn't that like exigent circumstances for them to get into the car now because these guys are being arrested? You guys comment below. All the lawyers, people who know law, don't go Google it and go tell me what ChatGPT said, because I could do the same thing. Was it exigent circumstances for the cops to gain entry into the car because they were being arrested for a breaking and entering? That's the question, okay? I only want the law people to answer. Huh?
I would think so. I don't know.
Well, they didn't want to shin up the key. We didn't know where the key was. And so then long after, I think the first officer left with the two of them, and the next one with the canine stayed, and I want to say a good 15-20 minutes after, another cop showed up, and he stood on the driver's side of the car and talked to the cop for a while, for a few minutes, and then suddenly the door was open. I didn't see them do that, when you pop the door or whatever. They just opened the door, so we assumed that they got the key, right? So my neighbor across the street, she has a better view than I do because the car is blocking, the camera view. And so I said, what's that thing with the orange handle that the cop has in his hand? And she goes, he has bolt cutters. I guess he had the bolt cutters under his armpit. I didn't see that. And he picked up a big thing with an orange handle that the handle looked like it could be a sword, or something. But I didn't know what that thing was. And I go, Joe, is that a machete? Because machetes don't have handles like swords. And so I asked the neighbor, and she goes, it looks like a big screwdriver thingy. I don't know what that was. I'm going to say it's a prying tool. Right? Like to maybe pry the plywood open or something. But they sure didn't use that. They didn't use that. They came out bare hands. Right? To pry the plywood off.
maybe when they pull on it, you just come right out.
Yeah, but they didn't have no tools in their hand when they went in. So that tool was in their car, because I don't think the cops brought that tool. Right? So, let me rewind a little bit. My neighbor told me when I told her they took the plywood off the back, she says the plywood is also off the front. So we didn't see that because we didn't walk down there to go see, right? So, hi Evie. So when the cop went into the trunk, he popped the trunk from inside. And when he went into the trunk, he took out something that looked like rope. Isn't this rope? Look, we're going to slow it down. This is a balled up rope. What wrong with these people? What did they plan to do? We already know that black people and brown people are not supposed to have no rope in their car. We used to always have rope in our car because we used to have old cars. And one time when I was pregnant with Joshua and we broke down somewhere, a rope was serving as a serpentine belt to get us from where we were to the gas station, right? So it's like, but we learned that you're not supposed to have no rope, no duct tape, no knife. That doesn't look good for black folks. So I said, Dave, is that a rope? Or is that a horse? Shh. What's she barking at? So she said, it looked like a rope to me. So they left the car there. They locked it up, left the car. They put up the plywood back at the front door for the people, but I don't think it's nailed up. It's just probably leaned up. We don't know. We're not going to see. So in the back, the plywood is still down because they wrecked it when they opened up the place. So They left the car there all evening. Me and Jada went out there to film inside the car, but you can't see so well because it's tinted, so you kind of see us in the flash, right? And if I forget any kind of clip to put in, I'll show it, you know. So we looked in, it's just like some bags or whatever. I don't know what else was in there, but Jada did hear the cops say, what's the meaning of all those tools in the car? So it was probably those things that they took out, right? So long after, when it was already dark, I didn't tape this part off of the camera because you can't see it well anyways, but a fat man came. I mean, morbidly obese, like at least 300 pounds.
What?
Yeah, a fat one. He came, walked across the street. I don't know if somebody dropped him off, and he walked towards the car and he started up the car and he took it off. So I'm wondering, and my neighbor's wondering, why did the cop be so nice to them as to leave the car and not tow the car, right? So my sister said maybe the car was stolen and they found out who the owner is and tell them to come pick up their car. That doesn't make sense though, after we thought about it, because if they stole the car in the commission of a B&E, then the car is definitely evidence in all the crimes they've committed. So they're going to keep the car. The cop won't keep the car. So Jada thinks...
Maybe somebody for the cops, work with the cops and tell them to pick up the car. Who knows? I don't know.
I don't think the cops would send another officer or somebody that they work with to come pick up a car. I think they would tow it.
No. Maybe they got a tow place or a place where they stop the cars and stuff. Mm-hmm. And maybe the owner, the towing place.
But why would the tow company take the risk of driving a car that they could possibly be in an accident with rather than tow it?
It's not a tow company. You got how do you call it place? Mm-hmm. A place that remember when they towed Jada car to that place where that little man was at? Mm-hmm. Place like that.
But they towed it.
But you don't.
The cop didn't drive the car
maybe
there.
If you could drive, they come and pick it up themselves.
Jada thinks that the car belonged to somebody like a single mom that needs it to go to work, and they convinced the cop, can you please let my baby mama come pick up the car, or my mom or my sister or somebody come pick up the car, mm-hmm. because if they don't have it, they won't be able to go to work and they'll lose money and they have mouths to feed and yada yada yada. They're not involved in this. We borrowed the car from them, blah blah blah. We feel like it's some kind of convincing. Yeah, we feel like, and then if that's the case, then yeah, you know, cops, you did the right thing. So somebody came and picked up the car late in the evening, like I want to say like around 6 when it was already dark. And the car's gone. So I'm sure they took them over there to what? Wait, what part of jail there? Is it Ontario? Mm-hmm. That jail that they took them two people that time that stole my meal. They probably took them there for the weekend till they get arraigned or whatever. And they're probably
coming out until Monday.
If they get bail, they're not gonna come out till Monday. So they stupid. The car was a 2013 thereabouts Toyota Camry, nice car, because you're like, man, that's a nice car. I'd like to have that car. So again, I'm going to tag Night Owl, because that's the camera system that I have. I'm going to tag Night Owl in this video because I really want them to send me out new cameras. These cameras are 9 years old. If you see the footage from some of them look more dull, like with less color, and it's because those were added later. You know, they didn't come as a part of my system. I added more cameras to the system later, and they didn't have like, if the cameras that I have now was 4.0 for the whatever, those other ones were like 2.0. Mm-hmm. But now they're up to like 8.0. I mean, they have some good cameras. Plus, my sister has some good cameras on her house in Belize, and they're 360. You can turn it to see, and they. I really want a new camera system, but I can't afford one. So Night Owl, send me a camera system. I need 8 because I have 8 now. I need 8. So that we can keep on monitoring the streets, because I think a bunch of people over here have Ring, but I think we're the one that has the most extensive system that sees the whole darn neighborhood. So you know what I think about when I lay down last night, you know, after things happen, you lay down and you start to have fears and stuff. Mm-hmm. I thought about the fact of what if Joe wasn't delayed an hour and a half, right? To come back, to leave and then come back home. He would have never saw them. Right? He would have never seen them, huh?
Then you go take what you want to take and leave.
There's nothing in there. What were they taking? Copper?
You never know.
Then people don't leave no jewelry in there, right? So, what did they plan to do with this rope? My sister feel like it's more heinous what they had planned. Like they planned to kidnap somebody and grape and torture them in there. Do we watch too many? Jada, what do you think them people had planned? Jada's not going to be on camera because she's not ready yet.
I don't know.
Why would they have rope? Huh?
Steal the copper out of the walls?
Why do they have rope in the car? It's not spooky,
That is really creepy. Yeah.
right? That part's creepy.
And we're gonna take the copper wire, take the copper fittings, and I don't know.
Again, another story from my night owl camera. This is like the fourth or fifth story from my night owl camera, right? When I sent a snippet of the video to Jory, Jory says, my cameras don't pick up nothing over here. He got like 10 cameras on his house because I bought him his night owl system too when he got married and bought the house.
Right, nothing happened over there.
Yeah.
Can you guys give me the fugitive? Give me the fugitive.
Baby, come here, baby. Come here. Come here. All right, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Don't touch it. Today, for dinner, we're going to have restaurant-style Mexican rice. See the recipe right here? Joe is taking here the chicken. He has chicken legs and quarters. And you're going to do it where you broil it, babe? With the lemon on it? Huh? Ooh, I call it lemon herb broiled chicken. I did the carb. See? And then we'll see if Joshua will do the salad. Yeah, we all pitching over here. Oh, look, Jada's birthday. 12/27. Ha ha ha.